What's up, everybody? This is Jay. Welcome to my Lovecraft Country episode 9 Explained Live. I can't believe we are almost at the end of Lovecraft Country. It's been an excellent show, an excellent run, and I'm like almost feeling sad that this is about to be over. I can't believe it. 9 episodes just like that. And damn, they are good. I mean, I have to keep it real. When I watch some shows, I'm not going to say which ones, I see holes in the plot, different things, and it makes me think I could be a writer. I could write some TV shows. I can do this. And then I see some shows like Lovecraft Country, and I think, man, these people are talented. Like I don't know if I could write that. It would take a lot of work, definitely, and research. So they actually are doing a damn good job. The storytelling is excellent. Every aspect of this show is good, from the plot, the story, the acting, the cinematography, the cameras that are used, set design, location, everything is just on point. And you know, it shows. The writing, everything, it shows. And it's a damn good show. I wish that the world wasn't in the state that it's in, because I would like to see a season 2 and see the story continue. But of course, people dying is more important. And support gaming. Yes, this is live for real. This is not a premiere. Appreciate you checking in. Now, I'm about to go ahead and recap the episode and break it down. And I'm going to answer some questions after I break it down and explain what happened in episode 9. And if you're new to the channel, what I'm going to do is I'm going to recap what happened in the episode. Then I'm going to go ahead and give a real talk review and my opinions on the episode. And then I'm going to go ahead and give it a rating, which is my most score. 4 categories, total score of 100. And after that, depending on how everything is going, I plan on going on Twitch and finally streaming Lovecraft Country to try to do a marathon tonight. We'll see what we can do. I've been trying to find a better way to stream on Twitch so that it's not blurry and glary when I film the TV. So I like to try that out tonight. So we'll see. Big Ben Richardson, what's up, man? Thanks for stopping through. Now I'm gonna go ahead and recap the episode. Now, when the episode first come on, now you remember in episode 8 that the little jigaboo Ugmo twins then got a hold of D and put their little dirty nails up in her and got her infected with the ooh-wee. She got the whole total package right now. It ain't looking good. Her whole arm looking like a little Pookie then got up in there. So when episode 9 kick off, she sleep, D sleep. And so they all are sitting there arguing about what happened and how they gonna fix it and be able to help D. And so it's Letty and Tick and Montrose and everybody. And so while they arguing, Tick say that he don't know what to do. They ain't got time to be playing around trying to figure it out. Go ahead and call Christina. Montrose, no, you can't trust her. Don't call her. You can't trust her. And so Tick like, hey, look, I can give her them pages. Titus is missing pages, and she'll help. And so he don't know that Letty already gave her them pages in episode 8 at the church. And so while he was getting ready to walk out thinking that he got some leverage, Letty say, hey, look, I already gave her the pages. I was trying to get her to make you invincible, but instead she put it on me. And so she telling him about the little deal. And so she was saying that you know, Ruby is like, look, they start arguing. Montrose is mad. Ruby on Letty's side, like, look, you know, she need to do what she needed to do. And so they all end up stop arguing. Montrose mad because he feel, you know, that them pages basically costing Tick his life. Letty don't know that Montrose he Tick had to cool him down. Montrose was mad, and so Tick he say that, you know, that was their only leverage. You gave it away, and then, you know, Ruby's like, look, don't worry about it. I'm gonna ask Christina to help. They like, what? How's she gonna help you? And so, you know, they don't know about the relationship she had with Christina, Montrose and Tick. And so she finding out. And so she like, look, Christina can see that she cursed. She know what to do. And then they said, well, you know, so Christina end up coming by. They asking her what's going on. She see that she cursed. And they ask her, can she remove it? And she say she can't remove it without the captain that put the curse on her. Okay. But she said she could reverse the curse and make it have to restart, which was basically buying D some time. And they said, okay, well, we need to find the captain or whatever and get the information. And they like, all right, well, where's the captain? And they like, well, he dead. It was a gas explosion. Natasha Jones, what's up, sis? You say you ain't started Lovecraft. You finishing up Westworld. I know that's right. So let's see. They said they didn't tell Christina that monster ate his arm off. And just like I thought in a previous episode when he was changing his shirt, it looked like his chest was black. Well, he's got a black man, part of black man body. You know what part he really wanted. Now, we see that Tick was saying that he wanted to use his blood to help D get better. And Christina like, your blood ain't no, you know, one-stop cure-all. And so, you know, she said that you got to get her closest living relative blood. And she say she gonna come and do the reverse for D, but that Tick is gonna have to come to Autumn on the autumn equinox for Christina. And Tick knows that in that book that his son wrote, Christina sacrifices him at the autumn equinox. So he's starting to realize that maybe this is real and he in trouble. And so she go ahead and say the curse or whatever and say she'll be back, you know, and tell him to get the blood or whatever. So we see that Montrose is her closest living relative because he's Uncle George's brother, and Uncle George is her daddy. So that's her uncle. And we know that her mama ain't there. Now, we see the cop, Christina, go to check on that captain, but she's in William's body now. And we see the cop is in pain. He got 2 little bullet holes right where his little nipples, tickle bitties was. And so he laying there in pain, and we could see he got a black body and that the spell wasn't working. And then you could hear the other cop talking about, man, this ain't working. We can't keep kidnapping Negroes, ninjas. And so then we see Christina come in William's body and said that, you know, that invulnerability spell is also a curse because it's going to keep healing you. And then the wounds will come back and keep doing it. So it's like he can't die. And the cop knew now that William was Christina. They like, you supposed to be dead. And so they like, look, that regeneration could be life or curse. And every time I change into William, he dies. And that's what I want for you, 1,000 deaths. And so the cop, he's sitting there and he pretty much died. And, you know, well, he laughed, you know, Christina, William, whatever. And so next thing you know, we see Montrose in the garage sipping on some oil, more like some gasoline, petroleum. I mean, that was some straight moonshine he had sipping on like rubbing alcohol. And he's sad. And so Tick come in, take the little gasoline from him, and he like, man, what is this? He like, man, George called it road rash. Then because you basically gonna fall out on the floor with that rash your face up on the road. But anyway, Montrose said that he would have took a bullet and he want to go back in time. It should have been him that died and took that bullet for Uncle George, and he should have been the one dead instead of George. And Montrose say that his blood might not work for the little spell they trying to do. And Tick like, what? Why not? He like, well, I might not be your daddy. George might be your daddy. And it's like Montrose got a million secrets. He ain't got skeletons in his closet. He got a cemetery. And so he like, man, what? Mama cheated on you? He always asks us who cheated. And so Montrose say, that what they went through that night in Tulsa, which where they grew up, was Black Wall Street. And so he's saying what they went through that night was an unbreakable bond. And so he mad. He talking about all them beatings and stuff you gave me all the time. I sit here wishing that George was my daddy, and you just not telling me this now. And that is kind of messed up that he had to go through all that with Montrose when in actuality George treated him better, and that's who he would have been happier with anyway. So while he and him talking, Letty walk in and let him know Christina back. And so while they sitting there talking about D sick, next thing you know, Hippolyta walk back. And so she like, what's wrong with D? D sick? So they surprised that Hippolyta back. And so we see that Christina is there doing the spell on D, and D still in like a coma or whatever. And then she starts screaming. You can see these little worms coming out of her arm all nasty and stuff. And then she's better, but basically it just restarted the curse all over again. And so she said, hey, you gotta get it together. You got a little bit more time to help her, but eventually she gonna die. And so Ruby leave with Christina, and while she leaving, Letty trying to tell her you can't trust Christina, but Ruby all on Christina team talking about Christina helped us, okay? And you need to be worried about Tick. And so Ruby don't trust Tick and telling Letty, be careful or whatever. And so, she like, yeah, but Christina and them, they killed me. She like, yeah, her father shot you and Christina healed you. So Ruby is like really on Christina's team right now. And so even though Letty did try to tell her, hey, she gonna probably try to kill Tick on the equinox, Ruby still left with Christina in the car and actually told her, man, you should be rolling with us instead of staying with them. And so we see Hippolyta got like a little attitude. She packing up Woody, put D in the Woody, and she ready to roll. They asking this and that, and she like, look, we need to get the book of names. That's what Tick telling her. Then she's like, look, we got 24 hours, so I think that's what she said. And she like, it's gonna take about 3-4 hours to get there. They're like, where? Kentucky. And so she going back to the portal, and they like, that's broke. Tick like, remember you shot it, it's broke. And she like, yeah, I can fix it. They like, how you gonna do that? And that's why I said in the last review that she was on like parallel universe or in the future. And she said that she was on Earth 504, which is, she was there for 200 years. So I guess Earth 504 is maybe New Orleans 504 boys. No, but I'm guessing that's another parallel universe or whatever. And so she said that she has infinite wisdom now and able to save her daughter and all this stuff. And she like, get in the forking car. And so they get in the forking car. They roll out. Ruby trying to figure out with Christina what's going on, because she in the basement with all the bodies, and she asking who the white lady was. And she like, well, she was the groundskeeper back at Artem, but she got into a coma when Letty hit her in the head with a shovel. And so Ruby like, oh, okay, well, did you help me just to get to Tick and Letty? And Christina like, no, I helped you, but I wasn't trying to use you. So I think Christina really does like Ruby. and she found her little hot chocolate. Ruby is pretty thick and, PHAT, pretty hot and tempting. And so we see that she asks, Ruby asked Christina, "Are you gonna kill Tick on the autumn equinox?" And Christina like, "Yeah, basically I need his blood to become immortal, but I'm not trying to be immortal and use magic like my dad and them to like use it to bend will to my advantage." She says she want to experience life, a life full of experiences. And she said that, she was going to go back. Tick was going to go back to Artem eventually. The only difference is the time that he going back. And so Ruby said, "Promise you ain't going to hurt my sister." But Ruby don't give a damn about Tick, which is kind of bogus considering your sister did tell you she pregnant and that he the baby daddy. But that seems to not mean nothing to Ruby. And so we see that Ruby cut the air off the white lady. And she said, "Hey, when I wanted to be white, I always wanted to be a redhead." And so I guess she getting used to the magic settling in, and she want to go ahead and, had a carpet match the drapes. And so we see that now they in Kentucky. And while they in Kentucky, we see that Hippolyta is at the time machine trying to fix it. She working on the board or whatever the case, and she telling Tick to fix the wires and French braided like how I taught you how to do D hair. And so while they doing that, we see Letty taking D up to the little catwalk or whatever and trying to help her, whatever. And Montrose is talking with Letty, and he say, he know that she pregnant because she was trying to tell her that she didn't mean to do the pages, but she was trying to get the invincibility or whatever. He say, "Yeah, I know because you pregnant." And she like, "Well, how you know?" And he like, "Yeah, well, you ain't the only one. D ain't the only one that, Hippolyta ain't the only one went in the time machine. Tick went in the time machine and found out." And she like, "Well, why he ain't say nothing?" But Tick is afraid of changing the future too. He don't want to die, but he don't want to make an alter to the point where his son is never born too. I don't think a lot of people are realizing that. And so he said that he didn't say nothing because Christina gonna kill Tick in the future on the autumn equinox. And Montrose said, when you gave Christina them pages, now she got what she need to do the little ritual, and she gonna probably kill him. Next thing you know, the machine start working. It's tweaking out, flipping or whatever. And then Hippolyta is like, they like, "Man, what are you doing?" Then she take out these cords and she got like little glowy thing, computer marks in her arm. And she plugged the machine into her body. Then they like, "What are you doing?" And she say, "It's too many possibilities. It's so many parallel universes." And she tell Montrose, "Get that picture out your wallet that you always keep. I need that to triangulate and get to the right Earth at the right time." And so she get all hooked into the machine, and it looked painful. She like, you know what I'm saying, getting tweaked out, shocked. And so next thing you know, it's working though. And she's controlling it. She said that she's the motherboard. And so Tick and Letty jump in, and while they jump in, Montrose, so silly drunk self, just standing there taking all day, which is something that also pissed me off later in the episode, and I will get to that about taking too long. And so he's sitting there looking, taking all day, knowing damn well this girl done got the juice running through her, and I ain't talking about OJ. And so we see that he go all slow inside the portal. Finally, we see why this young girl, once Letty walk out of the little room that they was in, she could see them talking about this dance canceled. And so then that's when Montrose say, "Well, that's the prom dance. They canceled it right before everything went bad." And so they in Tulsa on Black Wall Street the night that it was destroyed by the white mob. And so, which is a true event. And that's one thing I will give them credit. Just like Watchmen did, they are integrating real events mixed with fantasy and other storytelling aspects. And it's just a great mesh. And so we see Montrose say, that it was the prom canceled or whatever. And he said, we got to hurry up and get down there. We ain't got much time because they burned Tick Mama house with everybody in it and the book on the first night of that, riots or whatever. And so they all try to hurry. They change clothes. Now they wearing roaring 20s type stuff. She got her a long little slim dress. They come out looking dapper as ever with nice little suits and everything. I mean, they still look G'd up even for today. And so Montrose, he got a little flashback of what happened that night. And they wondering why they standing in the alley. What the heck is he doing taking all day? Why is he just standing there? And so they see he's stuck. Tick, he get mad, talking about he pathetic because Tick is chalking it up to him being drunk. And he is a little tipsy off that Earl juice. But nevertheless, he tell Tick, that he go back through the portal or whatever because, he mad about what's going on. Montrose having a flashback of what's going on. And Tick, he mad because Montrose tell him about may not be his daddy. So Tick take it out on him like, man, you drunk. All them beatings, all them whoopings I took for you because I thought you was my daddy. I thought that you was this and that, man. You know what? When D is done and we done with this, me and you are done. And so, they walk off. Next thing you know, they across the street from the house they need to be. And we see Montrose getting beat with a switch by his daddy. And Montrose start lying again, talking about, well, I was wearing George prom, sport coat, and it was a nice one. I deserved it. I got messed up. I got that beaten. And then we can hear his daddy whooping him, talking about, you want to put that flower in your hair? And so Montrose came clean and said that he had George's corsage and he was putting it in his hair like he was a little flower in his hair. And so he was getting beat. And then we see Tick Mama come out when she was a girl saying to stop. And so while she was telling them to stop, Montrose daddy said, you better go before I give you something to holler about. And then her daddy came out like, look, you do what you do to yours, but you ain't about to touch mine, which is real talk right there. And so his daddy, he's stopped beating on my little baby Montrose, and he tell, baby George, at least I ain't the only man in the house. And so, George was just standing there, whatever. She mad at George, talking about, why you ain't help? He's like, what I'm supposed to do, beat up my daddy? And so she just smacked the corsage down, then he pick it up. She forgive him, feel bad. Montrose like she was wrong. And George, she the one helped me more than anybody. And so, next thing you know, we see George run off looking for Montrose because Montrose ran away after his daddy stopped beating him. And I see all you guys' comments. I'm going to get to them in a second. I appreciate it. I'm going to try to finish this recap and then I get to you guys' comments. But yes, this is live. This is not a premiere. And so anyway, they notice that Tick and Letty noticed that they got two separate directions they need to go. They noticed that Montrose left while they was watching what happened. And so they like, well, look, he probably going to go warn Uncle George. I need to go this way. You go to the house. We'll split up. And so Tick go to the park looking for Montrose. Letty go to the house to get the book, try to get the good book. And so Letty tell Tick before he pull off, I think we should name the baby George. And then Tick kind of had that look like, oh my goodness, this is really real. Like, because he went to the future, got that book. He noted his son named George. And then Letty came up and said that out the blue. And so he kind of had that look like, oh my goodness. But anyway, we see Montrose. He in this little alley. It's a little car with some little liquor in there. He busts a window to go ahead and steal him a swig or two. And so while he taking the swig or two, we see Letty walking down the street and these white dudes come and they start chasing her, shooting at her. She running right before she get before they get to it, she fall and Tick daddy and they start shooting back, and so they defended her, and so she go inside Tick mama house. And while she in there, first thing grandma noticed was her shoes was off. But she didn't say nothing, but you could see she looked. And that's the thing, if you always go back in time and different things, people's clothes and things is different materials. And so them shoes, they didn't have rubber shoes like that and whatever. And so anyway, they asked him what's happening, and she's saying, it's a bunch of them in the truck at the end of the block. And so next thing you know, they start passing out guns like they was mints. And so they like, hey, look, you can stay, cover the back. Hey, shoot one shot for a warning. The next shot is to kill. And so, they out there covering the back end. Now, meanwhile, we see Tick, and he finally roll up on Montrose, and he like, hey, look, I know what you're doing. You can't warn Uncle George. And he like, I ain't trying to warn Uncle George. And then he say, well, what you trying to do? I'm here for Thomas. And he saying, well, Thomas? And meanwhile, they cutting back and forth. And so we see that Tick auntie is saying to Letty, she a little girl still, but she was saying, hey, I hope they find my sister. I was, I'm sorry we was upset. I just like, George, and I was going sweet on George, but, I'll apologize, whatever. And so Letty like, don't worry, everything gonna be okay. But she does know that girl ain't gonna make it out that house because everybody in that house was gonna die. But she didn't want to change or alter the future. And so meanwhile, we see Montrose, and he explaining how the pain of seeing his first boyfriend get killed, but it was so hard that he had to forget not only his name, so he could move on, he had to pretty much act as if he never even existed, never told no one about him, nothing. And so he wanted to save him now. He trying to save him, but Tick is saying, hey, look, you can't, because if you don't end up with my mom, then I won't exist and my son won't exist. And Montrose is like, look, Thomas, he was just the first of many sacrifices I made to be your daddy. And so Montrose is telling him, I told him we can't be friends because you's and he uses the F word that ends with a T. And so we see that he said he had to swallow his pride along with a little bit of other stuff. But he swallowed his pride when he found out that Tick might be George's son. And so while he was doing that, he said, all I wanted to be with your daddy. That's it. I knew I was a mammy, but I wanted to be a pappy. Okay? And so they start crying or whatever, having a little bond. Then he was saying all the little things that he didn't did or whatever just to be Tick Daddy, which really was probably a cover up because, like he explained, he wanted to stay in the closet. And so he said, well, I hope you sure of that, Pop. And so then he let him go. Meanwhile, we see Letty, she all in their drawers and everything. And then grandma come in talking about, what you looking for, girl? I'm looking for another place to shoot. In the drawers, she said, that's a lie. What you doing? You been off since the moment you came in here. There ain't nobody got no shoes like that. And so next thing you know, she pull out the gun. Grandma pull out that piece. She wasn't playing. And she said, you better start telling truths. And so she say, I'm from the future. And she need the book of names. I'm surprised grandma didn't shoot her right then and there. Then she say, well, the good book is all I know. And she say, well, your great granddaughter Dee is cursed, and we need that book of names. And she say, you guys got a birthmark. And then she write the birthmark. And so then it start to click. Grandma starting to realize, okay, wait a minute. And so she say, you come for the book, but what? So we all die here then. And so she like, well, it is what it is. No, she ain't say that, but anyway. So next thing you know, we see that Montrose and Tick is still over there, and they see this white guy come and kill his friend. He said ninja and then the F word to the T. and blew his brains out. And next thing you know, he had meatball chunks all over his nice little prom suit. And so he like all upset. Meanwhile, grandma and everybody is under attack. Letty telling her about the future and all the family members and everything. And grandma want to help, and she listening. And then she's like, but look, I can't just stand in here and do nothing while they trying to kill us. And Letty like, no, if this happened, then these people won't be born, and I love him, and I got the baby. And so she go ahead and get the book. She was about to leave. She changed her mind, go and open up the little stash spot behind the little picture, pull out the book. And so meanwhile, she giving the book to Letty. We see George and Tick Mama show up to help Montrose. And the mob, he like, man, I'm looking, the mob only had one gun, or else we'd all been dead that night. And so next thing you know, we see grandma, and she talking to Letty, and she say, I ain't never opened that book. So, I was told just to keep it safe. And so she give it to Letty. And then she said that when my great grandson is born, my faith will be fulfilled. And then we see Montrose, he's sitting there, and he telling Tick that, man, we was outnumbered, and next thing you know, the mysterious stranger showed up, swinging that bat like Jackie Robinson. And then after he knocked them home runs on their heads, he looked at us and said, then Tick was like, I got you, kid. And so then Tick like, wait a minute, something is wrong. And so, because he knew that part. And remember, in the very first episode, he kind of had a dream of that, similar. And so he was about to go to see and help, and then he accidentally kicked the bat. And then he realized, him and Montrose, that he was the mysterious stranger, which is kind of tripped out. And I'm going to get to explaining about how the time travel affected what happened, and that they was there the whole time from the beginning. But anyway, so he get the bat, he run over there. Next thing you know, we go back, they going back and forth, and we see Letty with grandma, and grandma give Letty the book, and she like, pray with me, baby, pray with me. And so next thing you know, they saying the Lord's Prayer. And while they doing that, I'm not sure, and maybe you guys can tell me in the comments, who was that? I think maybe James Baldwin or somebody reading something or poetry in the background while this was happening. But everything in the room is catching fire. You can hear the people downstairs getting roasted like marshmallows. And so then grandma, she getting a little heated. Meanwhile, we see Tick come over there with that bat. He beating the hell out of him. And the graphics was excellent. They slowed it in slow motion. You just see the bat. He was hitting them in the nards, upside the head. He beat all of them. And so he was not playing. And so, the George and Montrose and everybody was sitting there all in shock and all of what was going on. Meanwhile, grandma's burning alive, screaming, getting roasted, falling on the floor, roasted alive. It was amazing cinematography, and it was very graphic, and felt bad for the situation. And Letty, because of her invincibility, she was able to stay there and be there and not burn. But that book should have burned, okay? That book was not invincible, and them pages was a little dry. They should have burnt up, but they didn't. I guess that's part of bad storytelling. But they don't have a lot of it, so hey, I can chalk up one thing to it. But nevertheless, we see Tick beat all them dudes, and then he look at him and say, I got you, kid. And then he run off. And so meanwhile, we see that Montrose Tick trying to get back to the portal. And meanwhile, the mob is all in the street shooting people, robbing, breaking stuff, just destroying everything that they had built, which is another thing when people say that old bootstrap stuff. Every time black folks did try to pull themselves up by their bootstraps, it was destroyed one way or another. Nevertheless, they finally get back to the portal, inside that hotel room. And so Montrose say, something wrong with the portal. Something wrong with the portal. And so Tick, he jumped through the portal to see what's going on. And when you go through, I was like, whoa. You see Hippolyta, like her arms, and she's shaking, got a little mayo, extra mayo, drooling, and she, I can't hold it. I'm like, man, what in the world? And like, she like damn near about to die trying to keep it together, drooling, all that. And so Tick trying to convince her to keep hanging on in there for D. And so meanwhile, we see Montrose, and he just looking out the window, reminiscing on everything that the mob destroyed and all the spots he used to enjoy, when in reality, he should have been getting his ass through the portal. Meanwhile, he's sitting there recalling all the old people, everything he did, Tick trying to keep Hippolyta, keeping it going. Next thing you know, her eyes flip in, turn white, and then she started levitating, floating, and shaking, and like she having a seizure, about to die. And then meanwhile, we see Letty with the book, walking slow as hell. Like, Letty, they barely got the portal open, girl. Run. What the hell is you doing? She walking in the middle of the street, holding the good book like this, just like on a regular Sunday stroll, knowing damn well that they got a race against time and she need to hurry up. Like, why is she walking so slow? I was yelling at the TV, hurry your ass up, Letty. And so while she walking so slow, and this was a real thing that was done, that they had got into their little airplanes and was dropping fire bombs out from the airplane. And I don't know, if they actually landed on a particular person, but to emphasize what was going on while Letty was walking down the street, they was dropping bombs directly on her. Again, that book should have burned. I mean, I know that paper couldn't have been that strong. It looked like it was Topps paper. So it damn sure should have roasted a lot easier than it did. Nevertheless, we see her walking super slow with the book. We see Hippolyta shaking, twitching. Her hair turns like hot purple blue. I mean, her hair color was like super purple and hot purple. And nevertheless, Letty finally get through her little stroll, get her stroll on, finally come through the portal with Montrose. And we see that Tick is sitting there holding Hippolyta. She's like, did we get it? Did we get it? And the machine is smoking. She's smoking. Everybody traumatized. And of course, that's how they end the episode. They know how to end episodes on a cliffhanger. I will give them that. And so, another excellent episode, very entertaining, very informative. It just was great. And I love the show. And now it's going to be, well, before I get into the real talk, let me get to some of y'all comments. Y'all been great. Cash Money, what's up? What's up? Big Ben, what's good? What's good? I missed a lot of you guys' comments. Let me get to some of them. Doggy54, what's up? Yeah, I saw that. I like that. And I'm going to do a review for Fargo. Yeah, Fargo is going to be good. And, let's see. Let me get to start over and get some of these comments. Man, there's no reason in the world Lovecraft Country could cross over with Power Book 2. They would be downgraded. But, sound good. My sister Rashonda, what's up, girl? How you doing? Thanks for supporting me all the time, girl. I appreciate you. Big Wit, what's up, girl? How you doing? Hope you're having a lovely day. Let's see. Marvianne. Let me know if I pronounced that right. Marvianne Talley. How you doing? I'm mad we got one episode left too, girl. This is a really good show. It is. And I'm mad that it's one episode left. And I'm also mad that they didn't get to film season 2. I mean, it's bigger things to be mad about, but damn, that's a good show. Big Ben for Life is pretty good. It's all right. Yeah, he act like Kanan. I started to do a review for For Life, but I didn't. I should have. And also, I got some other stuff that I'm working on where I'm gonna start doing more movie reviews as well. So, don't worry. We'll see what's up. Let's see. Ruby is thicker than a snicker, and you is not lying. That girl is fine, man. The woman that plays Ruby is a beauty, okay? And I like women with a little meat on their bone. If you ain't at least two, then I ain't for you, okay? And I like she got a lot, to love. And she's very pretty woman as well. Let's see. Anybody got any questions about Lovecraft Country episode 9? I see you guys talking about a lot of other shows. Anybody interested or got any questions or anything that they didn't understand or that they missed in episode 9? Lady V, thank you for your support. Thank you for coming through. How you doing? Appreciate you, sis. Let's see. Let me get to Lord Bison, the actress who plays Ruby, is British. She also played on the last season of Luther on the BBC network. Yeah, she is British. She's a very good actress. I did know that. I didn't bring it up, but nevertheless, I appreciate Lord Bison. And yeah, she is British. She's very talented and very cute too. James Covington Smith. JC Smith, what's good, man? Appreciate you. Thanks for stopping through. Let's see. You say this is the best show of 2020. Between this and The Boys, I think are the best shows of 2020. And this and The Boys are close competition, for real. Big Ben, I was killing you, man. I had a couple good jokes. I had a couple jokes going through. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it, man. Let's see. Polo Montrose, man. Montrose been traumatized his whole life. His daddy done beat the hell out of him with a switch in the front yard for putting a little flower in the hair. He thought he was a little Yankee Doodle dandy. Put a little macaroni in his hat. What he say? Call it macaroni. Nevertheless, that's what's up, man. Montrose, I think that all of that hurt and pain that he went through is why he beat Tick and took it out on Tick. He wanted a son, but because of all of the post-traumatic stress that he's gone through, he didn't know how to deal with it right. Lamont Simpson, what's good? What's good? You ain't never late, man. You here, and I appreciate you for coming through. Let's see. Whitney, you trying to catch this live in class, girl? That's what I call dedication. That's dedication right there, baby. That's what I'm talking about. And that's why I love you, girl. Let's see. Boy, y'all really love Power, man. Y'all talk about that show still. Let's see. The Nards. You like them Nards? Let's see. Yeah, that book should have been burned. I don't understand how it wasn't. But they do so much excellent writing. I'm going to let them get a pass by not burning the good book. But that book should have been roasted, okay? Yeah, Letty was holding it, but still, I could see that she not going to burn. Even her clothes should have burned. Like, she's shouldn't have burned, but your clothes and that book and stuff should have burned. Like, they don't protect your outfit. I got outfit protection tonight, baby. Let's go. Party. I ain't worried about a girl spilling a drink on me. I got outfit protection. So I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Get to some more these comments. Reggie Greenleaf, what's good, brother? Great show. Sad that season 2 not coming soon enough. And I am too, man. I really, really am. And that's compliment to how well they did, that you got people ready to keep going. Like they should have made 20 episodes off top instead of 10, then come back for another 10, then man, y'all should have ran off 20, 30. Like this show is very entertaining. And if you are a history buff, then you'll like it even that much more, because it's got history as well as the entertaining aspect, as well as the occult. Big Ben, thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. I'm glad you enjoyed the review. I tried to break it down, give a little information, and I'm glad that it was explained and informative. Yeah, The Boys is fire. And between Lovecraft Country and The Boys, that's been the most entertaining TV shows that I have enjoyed this year. P-Valley may come up third. I have to do a little bit more thinking about that. But yeah, they are good. Now, Marvian, and let me know, am I saying your name right, Marvian? But we may not get season 2 for a while or at all. And you are 100% right. Because of what is going on, it is very hard to produce, television and film. It takes a lot of people. Most people don't pay attention to the credits, but next time a movie plays and it's over, look at the credits. A lot of people work on movies to get that done. And, with what's going on, it's difficult to get some of this good content out. And so we are lucky that they film stuff a year in advance. And so all this stuff that we are watching that's new right now was filmed like last year or the beginning of this year. But by next year, all the stuff that they would have filmed this year won't be out. Now, we do have a few movies like Black Widow and stuff like that they just keep pushing back so that they can get their money back by putting it in theaters. But other than that, we going to be in trouble. I'm going to be reviewing old movies. AMC classics, baby. Let's see. Big Ben, thank you so much, brother. That really helps a lot. And it helps more than you guys may realize, because some of the things going on with YouTube and different things, I'm not trying to get all into that right now. Make it that sometimes you may not even make any money on a video, and sometimes you may make very little. So when you guys chip in and support, whether it's $1 or $5 or more, it really helps the creators and being able to stay in business pretty much. So thank you, brother. I appreciate your support, and I'm glad you enjoyed the video. Now, you think that'd be dope reviewing the classics? I already got it planned out, actually. I've been putting a lot of thought into it, and I'm thinking about doing like 10-minute videos and doing like maybe 2 or 3 reviews of movies on that video, and doing maybe 3 to 3.5 minutes on each video. Give it a little rating, a score, and on to the next one. So let me know what y'all think. Maybe seeing that within a few days. Now, I love the history on this show as well. I love that they definitely keep it real with real history. I'm looking for some water. I'm over here hot, man. Y'all know I be getting hot with these lights. You get me a little drink poop. Ugh. All right. Now I'm about to go ahead and give it a Moscow after I wet my whistle. Now, let's give it a Moscow. And after I done with this video, make sure you come on the Twitch. I know I've been saying it for a while. Part of the reason that I haven't started streaming Lovecraft is because the quality, it doesn't come up on the camera. I got a better way to do it, Been trying it out off and on to make sure that it looks better, and I'm gonna try it tonight, so it should be a lot better. Now, time to give it a Moscow. Now, what this basically is my category to rate movies and TV shows. If you're not familiar, 4 categories, top score of a 25 for each category, which can give you a total score of 100. Very simple. First category, visuals and cinematography. Basically, the cameras that are used, the locations that are used, you can put in all of that. And it's excellent. They use top-notch cameras, I believe 4K cameras, because it looks excellent on my 4K TV. And the outfits, the set design, the locations, every episode is great, and this episode was no exception. So, visuals and cinematography, I'm gonna give it a 20. Storyline and plot. This is a very good storyline and plot for this show. At first, the first couple episodes, I was a little confused and wondering where we going with this. And it's so much clearer now, and I just can't wait to see what happens. This episode was amazing with the integration of Black Wall Street and the real history. And I'm going to give this storyline and plot my first 25. Excellent for this episode. I give it a 25, a 25, okay? Special effects and makeup. Excellent special effects and makeup. When her eyes turn white, it got the little glow things in her arm, her hair turned because floating. I mean, the portal opening up, they changing clothes, roaring 20s, getting in the car. I mean, everything. I mean, this is a very, very, very well done show. And it's not a full 25 because it's a lot more that you could do with makeup and special effects. But I'm going to give it a 20. Okay? And entertainment, fun factor. I have watched this episode about 4 times already. Not even taking notes. Not even, just off of pure entertainment value. That's how much I enjoyed this episode. And I'm going to give this a 25. I really enjoyed the episode. It's good to watch. And hey, this is the first thing I've ever gave 2 top scores. Okay. Which brings it to a total score of a 90. You got a 20 for visuals and cinematography, a 25 for story and plot, and then you got another 20 for special effects and makeup, and another 25 for entertainment and fun factor, which leaves this with a total score of 90, which is the highest score I have given anything at this point. I haven't rated a lot of things yet. I just started doing the Moscow a month or so ago. But hey, a 90 is the top score so far, and I am very much entertained. You guys tell me, what would you score it in the comments? And if you want to give me a shout out from where you from, go right ahead, and I'll give you a shout out before we get ready to sign off. I got a couple people checking in on Facebook. Appreciate the like. I got some people on Twitch as well as YouTube, and I appreciate you all for watching and supporting it. Let's see. Get to a couple more of these comments right quick. You say you watched episode 9 at work last night and cried. I'm usually not a crybaby. I mean, it was sad to see grandma burn up. It was sad to see, and that's what I do like, is the graphic and the realness, because it needs to hit home. Some people, not saying that you were one of them, but some people, and they know who they are, hopefully, needs to see what happened and why black people are in the situation they in now. It's not a mistake. It was done on purpose. Stop trying to people like, I ain't gonna get into that, but some people try to make it seem as if black folks don't know how to do nothing, and that's just not the case. And a lot of sad, traumatic events have happened to the black community since we've been on this continent. And, you know, I'm glad that they are bringing that to light. You know, one of the problems with America is they don't confront history head on. They kind of hide or change or alter. And I'm glad that they do bring that out. Mia-san, what's up? What's up? How you doing? Thanks for checking in on Twitch. I appreciate your support on Twitch. I'm glad that you're checking in. Let's see. Whitney, they should be able to film a new season, film a season, a Sue season, I guess, new season. I was looking, yeah, B, I thought I was dyslexic for a second. It's all good. They should be able to film a new season of Lovecraft since they use a lot of CGI. They really don't have a lot of people in the scenes. Okay, you got a point there. They do use a lot of CGI, but them CGI people got to do that work too. And they got to work with other people as well. We may not see a lot of people. Like if you look at Black Panther, for example, it's probably 1,000 people it took to make that movie. We probably only saw 100 people on screen in the whole movie, maybe, just off of an example. So yeah, they do use a lot of CGI, but those people work together and do different stuff. And then you still got, like, every scene ain't CGI, but I get what you're saying. And it may be possibly something they could work around easier than, you know, like Power, where it's no CGI at all, unless you're talking about a bullet shot, a gunshot. So you give Lovecraft a 95%. Yeah, Lovecraft is 95. That's, yeah, it's really good. One Journey, I'm glad you came. I appreciate your comments. 90%, the score was good. Yeah. Have you seen Lovecraft yet? One Journey? And this is 90% for episode 9. Now, what I would give the show overall, I guess I probably would give it about a 90 overall. You can round that down to a 9 out of 10 or a 90, however you like. I think that's a very, very, very good score. It's not easy to get that good on a TV show. Episode after episode is a hit. You know, how many times we see a show like Power, for example, and you got one episode great, then the next episode is not as great. So Lovecraft didn't really go that route. Now, they did have almost, for like 4 episodes in a row, everybody got their own episode. You know, Tick had his own episode, and Ruby, and I think Letty, and Montrose a little bit. So, I mean, he didn't really have his whole episode, but, you know, that's all I'm saying. Support gaming, man. You everywhere. I appreciate it, man. You one of my biggest supporters, and I'm glad to have you on my side. I appreciate you. Let's see. Glennis Sturd event. Sturd dive. You know, I tried. Well, the ebook isn't that long, so maybe that's the hold up for season 2. Okay. And yeah, that's part of the reason why this is so good as well, is because a lot of times when a show or movie is based off of a book source material, they got a lot more details to work with than if they're writing it as they go, like Power or The Chi. They're making it up as they go. And like Game of Thrones was so amazing because it had such great storytelling. But when they ran out of the books and had to write as their goal, those last couple seasons wasn't so good. And people was upset. So it's not that easy, you know. Casey, that's true. It's a lot of crew and staff. They got to bring food, all of that stuff. So we don't always think of that stuff because we don't see them, but it takes a lot to get a, production going. You give it 100, Darlene. That's what's up, girl. Lovecraft is damn good. And if you haven't seen it yet, I'm going to put it on after this stream. And based on all these reviews and what everybody's saying and scores, you might want to check it out. And if you're not able to check it out right away, hey, just subscribe on Twitch and it'll be there. If you don't know how to find me on Twitch, go in the description box of my video or any video of mine. And I got the link in there. You can click on the link and join Twitch and check it out. Yes, I did review Godfather of Harlem. It is on my playlist. I didn't do the complete season because a lot of people wasn't watching the videos. So I stopped. But I may go back and finish it up, depending on the demand. Whitney, there's a lot of people working on the set, but they are different departments. A lot of graphic designers do their own rendering. They can piece them together. They can work from home. You right. And I get what you're saying. It should possibly, you're saying that they should possibly have an easier time because of that. And I get it. Not saying that they definitely, but I get it. But it's not that easy. We'll see. I would like for you to be right because I like the show and want to see more, but we'll see. I say that based on the Black History ref and cast. Okay. I had to think about what you were saying for a second. I'm going back to, you said you give it 100 and based on the Black History references in the cast. I got you, man. I agree. I love the Black History references. The only thing that I worry is that maybe people won't pick up on it and think that it's just part of the show. Like Bessie Stringfield, when she was riding that motorcycle, that was real. She was real. So we'll see. Casey, you love the show. The acting is good. You like the way they bring everything together that is Black history, sci-fi, horror, and comedy. And I'm with you 100%. I love how they mix all of that together with the occult, the sci-fi, the horror, the real Black history, the set, they really do a good job on Lovecraft Country. And I like to give credit where credit is due. I always try to keep it real. If a person is doing good, I tell them they're doing good. And if they ain't, I tell them, hey, you need a little work. Lovecraft Country is doing good. I was disappointed, though, when the writer for episode 8 tweeted and called Black American an akata, which is a derogatory term used by Africans to talk about Black Americans, and it means cotton picker or lazy or whatever. And I don't think that should have been done. We deserve better than that, especially we the ones that embrace and support them. But we'll see. I do not do horror. Pay her weight. She has 2 reviews, a panel, and her channel. So I like hearing but not watching. She has 2 reviews, a panel, and her channel. I don't know what that is. But I'm getting ready to get up out of here. It was a great stream. I like reviewing this show live with you guys and going through the comments and getting the feedback, answering questions. And, you guys are great as always. I appreciate your support. Ben, thanks for the super chat and support to my channel. People like you help me to keep going. And when I'm tired and times is tough, fans and supporters like yourself and it's a lot more. You know who you are. I don't want to start naming them all. I love you guys. You guys help me to keep going, to improve my channel, keep it running. And I do have an announcement that I will be making an appearance on another YouTuber's channel this Wednesday. And I will be letting you guys know a little bit more about that person and their channel. And I will post it on the community tab. So be looking forward to that. And I'll be bringing more dope content for you guys. I'm looking forward to the finale of Lovecraft Country. I'm sorry that it's going off the air, but I'm gonna enjoy this finale next week. Anyway, you say she got a panel and her individually reviewing. Okay, I got you. Well, it's been fun. I hope you all got a little bit more understanding on that episode and on the show. I'll see y'all on the next one. I'm about to go on Twitch, live stream a little Lovecraft marathon. I'll see you there. Peace. And I'm out of here. Y'all take care. Have a good one. And it's almost over, y'all. I'm out.